the Tom Show. I'm Tom. This is Chris, Goldline Cards. Look how good this dude looks. Man, he's all ready. Got his Drew Lock, got the smile on, looks clean, fresh.
I got a slab hanging from my neck. It's a Lock Select PSA 10 too, because you know I'm a big baller like that.
I started a project last year and I didn't get around to it. And Jen Pointer, our buddy, tried to help me out with a see and say, you know, the old, you pull it and it spins and it does like the cow goes moo. I was going to spray paint that gold, put some gems on it, slab an HGA slab right there on the middle, and with a gold chain around it. And you could just hang it, pull that lever, and spin your HGA swag. It was going to be the HGA swag chain.
Tom P. Willis.
So, hey, everyone, welcome. We're running a little bit late. We had some business that just came up. We were DMing a whole bunch of people, trying to get something going. And, you know, his laptop decided right at the last minute to just take a poo-poo. So it took a little while to get back on, but that's not going to stop us. Chris and I, we've done a couple shows together, different styles. We did our rap battle that didn't go so well because I just blanked out. I had a couple good lines and a couple good things going on. I'm not as, you know, on the spot as Chris when it comes to the rap lyrics. So, you know, bow down to his powers.
It was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and more people should do fun stuff like that with their buddies, honestly. And then around the hobby, that was fun. I was on with some super people, and I was yeah, it was a good time, and I recommend it. And, you know, I think you've kind of taken a step back because your schedule shifted on you from your shows. You still do the hot cocoa and coffee with Claire show, right?
We don't do anything anymore at the moment.
Oh, really?
My
okay.
Sundays, I got to work Sunday mornings now, so I've been hopping on other people's shows. I got on with Kevin's Cards the other night to try to promote the Special Olympics thing we're doing. Hopping on with you, but yeah, I got to get back to doing some stuff now because it's a ton of fun. I'm really excited to be on somebody else's show because usually people coming on mine, so this is great.
Yeah, it's fun. And people know why I'm going to say this every show because this might be someone's first show. I get depressed real easy, and, you know, instead of moping in bed and, you know, watching Twitch or YouTube videos, I decided I'm going to force myself to interact with my buddies. And I have a flaw where I'm not a very good in-depth friend. Like, I care passionately and people are in my heart. So, like, that's not the issue, but I don't get to learn the person's like deep soul, you know. It's like, hey, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, I love you too. Hey, you're great. I'll do anything for you. But I don't know, you know, like where you went to college or, you know, how long you've been married, you know, things like that friends should kind of know. And I'm not asking to know all of that, but just to get to know my friends better and also to showcase and share why these people are special to me, in hopes that, you know, other people are like, hey, Chris is special. I should follow him, and everyone should follow him. If you follow me, 99% you follow Chris. If you're in the card hobby, if you're into NFTs or other things, maybe not so much. But Chris,
it's not my thing. So
not at all. I know you were into Top Shot, just kind of for the resale flipping stuff, but that didn't really appeal to you and didn't get you hooked on the other stuff.
You know, my brother gets into all this stuff, and he keeps sending me like 10 text messages a day. You got to get into this. You got to get into this. You got to get into this. And I should listen to him, because if I would have got into Dogecoin when he said to, I'd be living on an island right now. But I didn't. Yeah. So, you know, he's all into that stuff. I know a lot of people are. It just doesn't seem like it's for me. Maybe I should start, and it will be, because, you know, you don't know if you don't try, but it just doesn't seem like anything is of interest. You know, like Ben at Midwest Box Breaks got the new Discord. Hey, come try it. If you have interest, come learn. And I'm like, I do a lot of stuff with a lot of people. It doesn't seem to interest me like at all. Like, I like the Top Shots. Yeah, I still, you know, I got in a line today, and I've been playing around with the same $100 that I put in. I enjoy collecting the moments, or, you know, it gives me a reason to talk to my brother kind of, but it's just like, I don't, seems like a big pump and dump scam almost where, hey, I can make something for $2 million, sell it to myself for $2 million. So I've got my money and my NFT, then I could put it on sale for like 90,000. Then Tom's like, oh, this guy had it for $2 million. I got a deal at 90,000. I can go sell it for $2 million. Then you buy it for 90,000, and then you're stuck with
Holding the bag. Yeah.
$90,000. Like,
A lot of it is just profit driven, cash grabs. How can we make money crap? But then there's also a lot of, if you do like get down to it, there are quality projects where it's like, hey, we just want to make something fun and we want people to have fun with us, you know? So when people say like, oh yeah, it's a cash grab and I hate it, I'm with you, man. It's so much garbage right now. And when the garbage is the loudest thing you hear, of course it's going to turn people off, you know? So I don't blame people for not getting into NFTs. I just tell people like, hey, you know, maybe just keep an eye on them. And, you know, you have your brother. So that's, you know, a good resource. Like if it really comes down to the point where you're like, you know, hey, the Denver Broncos are releasing an NFT and you get
yeah.
season tickets and a free beer if you buy it or something, then, you know, you could be like, hey, brother, how do I get this? And, you know, you can get hooked in. But, you know, there might be something eventually. But right now, it's hard to sell for a lot of people. So,
Yeah, like he sent me the other day. I think it might have been DraftKings or Fanatics or someone had a 49ers NFT come out. And if that would have been the Broncos, I would have bought it. He's like, oh, I got to buy this 49ers. It's going to be a collectible. I'm like, I don't care. But if it was Denver, I probably would have bought it. Like, here, take my $50. Like,
yeah.
whatever. This is cool. But it's
It
just,
was 75th anniversary of the 49ers being a franchise. I forgot who did it. Was it Dapper or someone
yeah, I'm
else?
pretty sure it was Dapper because I was logging into my Dapper account because I thought it would be all the teams. It was just the 49ers.
Yeah, it was just
So,
the 49ers. Yeah, same thing. I was like, well, that's cool. And then it was like $200 for the cheapest one, sold out already. And I was like, that's cool.
yeah. Hey, that's cool. Good for you, but not
Yeah.
for me.
So how have you been? To introduce yourself to people who may not know.
Well, I'm Chris, go by Goldline Cards. I have 3 college degrees, Tom. I went the roundabout way. I started my bachelor's degree, communications and journalism, University of Toledo. Then I wanted to go back get my business degree, but I tested out of math in high school, so I never had any math college classes. So, I went to college like 20 years later for my master's degree. Like, no, you got to go take some finance classes. So I went and got an associate's in finance at Columbus State, and then my MBA at University of Arizona. So I graduated with that. I work as a police fire EMS dispatcher, 911 call taker. It's where you get the gold line from. Police is the blue line, fire's the red line. No one knows that the gold line are, the call takers. Been married for 8 years. My wife, Becky, a lot of like our inner circle knows who she is. She's super great. She likes to collect too, which is awesome. It's awesome. And it sucks because it's like, oh, sweet. I got this awesome box. I want to rip it. Then it's like, gotta wait for my wife, but it's also like, sweet, I can rip with my wife. She enjoys this. She knows that I got this stack of cards and she's all about it. Or, I buy cards on Twitter or something, have them send to her, and it's great. My daughter loves collecting. She's got into Pokemon a lot lately. She has the world's largest Jesse Winker collection.
That's right.
My son's name's Cooper, so we started collecting Cooper Cup. And we have a ton of Cooper Cup cards, which I could probably sell his collection for a ton right now. But that's you gotta come to the thing like, hey, could I sell it and buy some like Apple stock for his college fund or keep pieces of cardboard? I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. I do got the optic rainbow sitting over there. So,
and see, this is why like I miss your shows, is because you're so charismatic. You speak well and it's easy. And right now you're smiling, and I just
yeah, you get me all bashful.
I love that smile. Like you've got the talent and the face for this, and that's why I was so excited to get you on. Because I was on your show and we've done this, but yeah, we're here a little bit later. I love you, Chris. Like you're one of my top 3 people in the hobby, easy.
Wow,
and I want
3.
you to know that top 3.
That's huge.
Yes, it's probably Che, Ivan, and you all are like the 3 that have made me enjoy the hobby the most. So, And I didn't want you to feel like, oh, hey, when do I get to be on your show? You've had a whole bunch of rando people. Well, it's just people ask and then I let them, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not like, hey, I'm recruiting a lot of people, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll just be like, hey, you want to come on my show? And they'll be like, yeah. So, but this works out well because you've got your fundraiser and the Polar Plunge. So we talked about it a little while ago, like, hey, this would be perfect.
Yeah.
We'll have you on. And then, Cards Kev, who you did the show with, he was also like, hey, I want to be on your show. I was like, if we just do a whole week dedicated to you guys, I think, that message might stick a little more and it'd be a lot more fun. We could talk about all kinds of things. So, how about you just tell us about last year or your previous Polar Plunges, and then we'll go into this year.
Absolutely. Started off, I work at our local police department. We were the Polar Plunging Police, and it was like all of Central Ohio's, there it is, keeping that beverage optimally cool. It was like all of Central Ohio's police officers and people who worked there got together on one team, had like 50 people, and they had the event at the zoo. They took this giant pool down to the Columbus Zoo. It was right next to the polar bear exhibit, and you jumped in ice water. There's costume contests, like half the Columbus crew comes, and Frankie Hayduke, who played on the U.S. national team, huge crew supporter, he'd come and fire up the crowd and have like, just like a band and fire and just, a huge, great time going on. And then a local company called The Basement Doctor started sponsoring it. The guy who owns the company has family members who play in the Special Olympics, so he, it's really important to him. And they moved it to an outside concert venue downtown Columbus. And they're like, oh, jump off the stage like a rock star. It's going to be sweet. Then it's like, okay, you're diving into a 4-foot deep pool of ice water. The first time, like, smashed my butt on the ground. Like, okay, there's an 18th back surgery. Then it just wasn't that fun. My buddy Steve and I went up to Indian Lakes, about an hour away. And, so it was 3 years ago, before the pandemic. And we jumped in, an actual lake, which was awesome. Which Kevin, he jumps in the Atlantic Ocean. That's nuts. You jump in this lake, it's 9 degrees. I mean, the ice is this thick. If you go on the charity website that I've got, it's a picture of us holding up the ice. And that was the coldest I've ever been in my life. 2 years ago, they canceled it. Last year, it was a plunge your way. And people like to give me the business about last year's video because I'm running, like, I'm at my parents' house. They've got a pond in their backyard. I break up the ice and like kind of just dip myself in because my foot's stuck and it's, this deep. And I'm running back to the house like, oh my God, I'm so cold. But last year I set a goal for $1,000. That if I got $1,000, I'd get a hobby tattoo. Well, it's right there.
Yeah.
Ended up getting $3,600. So I got 2 of them. So on my ribs, I've got the Future Stars logo from Topps.
That's awesome.
And so, I'm sure you were there, about it, how Che and I were live. And then Jen puts in the, the massive donation to put me over that $1,000. And I get all emotional because that's the kind of guy I am, and start crying like on, live broadcast. With all my
I remember watching. Yes, I was crying too.
And that night, anonymous donor matches, Buck City Breaks comes in with a huge donation with $3,600. So this year, talking with Eric Hecker, he's like, dude, we could smash that with all the stuff he does for Ripping It for the Cure. I mean, that's what he does for his life, is fundraising. So he's giving me a bunch of tips. I've done a lot of racks with Employee 84 Will, and he's giving me some tips on how to, garner interest from people. I'm at $2,500 already. My goal is 5,000 this year. And I said, if I got the 5,000, I'd get the polar bear, this logo right here tattooed on me.
Nice.
And something hobby related. So 2 more tattoos. I already got 14. So what's 2 more, So
yeah. Does my feet card count as hobby related? Because that would be.
No, I'm not getting your feet tattooed on me. But yeah. No amount of money will have me get Tom's feet tattooed on me either, so.
I was just thinking how that would be a losing bet in fantasy football or something.
Oh,
the loser gets
and like
picks a tattoo.
Buck City says, oh, how much for a donation to get a BuckCityBreaks.com tattoo? I'm like, I don't know, just like donate something. I'll probably just do it because
Yeah.
whatever. Like I already got this giant rated rookie on my forearm. Obviously, I'm not,
Yeah.
and
And
that
Buck City, it could be like quarter size somewhere,
yeah.
It doesn't
And
have to be
and anyways,
huge.
it's all going to charity. People are like,
Yeah.
why do you have this on your arm? Like, let me tell you a 5-minute story that's really cool how I help some people.
Yeah.
And so the fundraising I'm doing through February 4th. The plunge is February 5th, and it's also going to be at Body of Water here in Central Ohio. So I'll get to actually jump in water instead of just doing it on my own or a
Yeah.
pool or something. And then on the 6th, I'm doing the raffle. So I know like I got your package in the mail today,
Oh,
a whole
cool.
bunch of other prizes and gifts. And anybody who donates $10 or every $10 that you donate get you one entry to the raffle. And there's like 45 prizes already. And then it's just whoever gets which prize, you get matched up with that number. And we're just giving a bunch of stuff away. I mean, I've got slabs, sealed wax, stacks of cards. Anna's giving away some mascots. You got a whole bunch of awesome stuff you sent me earlier. There are blasters. I'm sure maybe I'll get a hobby box as like a grand prize or something. But the donations keep coming in for monetary wise and prize wise, and I couldn't be more thankful. I put a tweet out the other day that this I'm just looking at my numbers and talking to my friends, like, how in the world did you do that? Like, I have no affiliation with the Special Olympics. Like, I don't have anybody who does it or, into it. I don't work there. I just really, really, really support it. Like, I'm the only one who has no like 100 tie, you know what I mean? Like, no
Yeah.
direct tie to it. Who's, raising the most, like Kelly's cards. It's huge to him. He has a family member who
Yep. His
participates.
niece, right? I believe.
And
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into specifics in case he's not comfortable
Yeah. Oh,
sharing.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. But
But he's his work's liaison for that, and that's
mhm.
that's incredible. And I'm just so proud of him for the stuff he's done. And Kevin, I had no idea he even did this. Now we're like best buds. We chat every day. Oh, and it's just because of this. And just I'm all about making friends and making relationships, and it just helps grow like the Chris circle. It's like the Grinch. My heart grew 10 sizes.
Yeah. Cards Kelly, amazing guy. Or Kelly's cards. Cards Kevin. He's just a super nice guy too, and I'm looking forward to talk to him and get his side of why it's important to him. But I just want to talk. Like I sent you a whole bunch of cards. Yeah, they're kind of random, but I did give up a card that's kind of I really really liked, and it's the Dansby Swanson like NT rookie autograph with like 2 patches. And it's not that crazy of a card, but he's so hot, and to
He
give
is a
up
good looking man.
to give up I think I sent like all my Dansby rookies to you too. I didn't have a whole lot, but I sent them all. I was like, you know what, I got and a Pache. It's like I got some okay Braves cards that might go together as a nice prize. So I I just sent. I don't have a lot, but I send what I can, and because I donated last year and I believe in this and I want to help my friends out, and that goes around to the video game thing I'm trying to do where I do the live stream for Civilization 6. For people that don't know,
Like
that
me, because I need to learn about this. Because you keep tweeting and adding me, and I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, man.
it's
So
okay. It's okay.
educate me so I can educate others.
So it's a video game, and this is the 6th one, Civilization 6. It's been out forever. And what you do is you start out and you're building a civilization. You start out with a group of warriors and settlers, and you start out like way back 4000 BC in the Stone Age. You found your city, you research technologies like the wheel or writing or currency. You build units to defend from barbarians and other countries, and you explore, and then you build more cities, and then you negotiate trades with the other civilizations, and or you go to war with them, and then you build ships and you travel the world. And yeah, it's just one of those games. It's a game that will suck up your whole day. If you're into it, you'll start like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then it'll be 8 o'clock the next morning before you realize it.
So, what platform do you play it on? Like a PlayStation, computer,
This is a
Xbox?
PC. I think they have it available. There's versions for the Xbox that you can get because there's an Xbox Live like gold game years and years ago. One of the versions. They probably have a version for like iPhone. It's something. But I just thought the idea was fun because, you end up making a bunch of cities and, instead of like if you're an American, you pick the American civilization, you start out the first city is Washington D.C. Well, what if the first city is Goldline? And then what if the second city is Block Watch the Brakes? What if the third city is Che likes farts? You know what I mean? Not
Oh yeah.
just,
Che
you
likes Tom's feet.
Che likes Tom's feet. Jen hates Tom's feet. I don't know. You're not probably not a fan of Tom's feet, but Jet Foundation should like my feet.
Yeah.
They've never acknowledged us for raising all that money, so I'm still kind of mad at them. But my feet, $3,000. I mean, Che helped and you helped and a lot of friends helped, but a goofy foot picture, led to that. But then, and then also like, okay, well, what kind of continent or, world map, are you playing like a continent's like Earth? Is it a Pangea? Are there just little islands everywhere? How natural disasters, how frequent and how strong they are? Do you have zombies? Which makes me play the game way different than I normally do because I don't like going to war. I usually build up with science until I get so far ahead, and then it's easy to wipe people out because they're so inferior. But with zombies, I got to focus a lot more on like units and making sure I have swordsmen instead of just warriors with clubs. So it's like it just changes the way the game plays, and that's why I thought like if there's 30 different things people can like bid on auction style. I was like, hey, if we get a couple bucks on like a couple of these and maybe a little bit more, it's like
Yeah.
$100, 50 for you, 50 for Cards Kev. And yeah, that's not crazy numbers, but it's me doing something fun and it's the hobby and our friends dictating how I have to play the game. What's the name of the religion for my people, and do I have to win a religious victory, which is every city has to worship this religion, which
Yes,
is
you have to worship
very,
the Chris's.
yeah, that's it.
I
It's
get
the
it.
gold liners is the religion, and
Mm.
the whole world has to have it. You put in $1 and that's how I have to play it. Well, $2 to name the religion and the victory. $2 and you could ruin my whole gaming experience. And then I'm going to stream it on Twitch, and Twitch will automatically record that so people can go back and watch it and have fun.
No.
And I was thinking, I'm going to do it live, and if people pop in chat and they're like, if they want to donate like $5 or something, they'll be like, hey Tom, I got $5, I want you to go to war with Russia, and then I got to declare war, which there's the game's so intricate now. You can't just declare war and every other world leader gets pissed off at you and thinks you're an asshole. Then they hold grudges, and then they all go to war with you eventually. So like I could get into some serious trouble if people participate. And if it's not a big thing right now, I'm gonna fill in the rest of the spots with like a minimum dollar bid for myself, so at least we'll get like $50 donated.
But see, this is a cool way for me or maybe Kevin to donate because I mean, at the end, like I'm gonna make up whatever I need to get to what number I want to get or what I feel comfortable donating. But I'm not gonna just be like, hey, I need to donate $50 to myself. You know what I mean? But this way, I can donate to you, which is then in turn going back to me.
Yeah.
Because like the other day they had the matching, and we did the with Kevin Fee the sale, and mine went to Monday because I was supposed to do some more sales, but we got stuck in Cincinnati and yada yada. So I like donated my own money. Like, hey, I think I'm gonna get like $200, but they have a match on Friday, so I'm gonna donate $200 Friday, and then keep this money over here because it's gonna be $200. But this way, I make $400.
Yep.
Math.
Yeah,
So
math is good.
That's awesome. Like I said, it's a way for.
And Kev's done that already. He's like, hey, I like that idea. I want he said, I want the natural disasters to be set to high. And I want to see volcanoes kill your people. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, see, now I understand. I'm gonna be I'm gonna have some fun with this.
Yeah, and I wanted to explain it, but it's been a crazy week. I've had I'm on one of those depression things where nothing happened, but I'm just like just depressed as crap, man. Like, so I And also, I lost internet all weekend. So we have YouTube TV, so I couldn't watch the games. I couldn't do
It
anything.
was
So it's
so
like I
cool.
worked, and then they kept saying like, oh, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And that was just Saturday. And then like Sunday, the whole day, we got it back like 7 a.m. Monday morning. So it's just kind of like my engagement for like making a video to explain all this and be more engaged with the community just nosedive because
Yeah,
it's hard to do it.
I read something on the internet today because everything on the internet's true. It said
Yes.
January 17th is the saddest day of the year. So it's the third Monday of the year is usually the saddest because you're just getting over the holidays.
Mhm.
Everyone's getting back to work. It's dark out. It's dreary out. Usually, in places where you and I live, it's cold and there's snow. And it's just like depressing. There's no sunshine. There's no anything. You walk outside and it's like, bleh.
That's
And
not
so
true
it's
though
like,
for me right now because we have like no snow and it's like
wow,
58 degrees and
wow.
it's
It's
well,
like,
Colorado, the sun always shines in Colorado. There's rarely a time or a day where you go a full day without sunshine. You get like sunshine for half a day and then maybe you get some clouds for a couple hours. So when people
yeah,
say like there's no sun, that's not necessarily part of it for me, but yeah, the dreariness, even though there might be sun out, it's still dreary and just I understand that. Sorry, Martin Luther King Jr., that we ruined your day by
yeah.
making it the most depressing day of the year.
We should get him a day in August. Like August 4th sounds like a great day.
Yeah, just something like, hey, it's fun. Let's go to the beach and
Yeah.
remember a good dude that had a bad deal. Sorry, just like a little, but yeah, it's that kind of put me behind. But yeah, it's just the idea is like you tell me how to play, what are my victory conditions are, what civilization am I going to start out with? If someone wants to bid that, I mean, there's like 70 of them. I didn't list them all because I mean that's 70. There's a lot, but people can pick. Tell me what kind of map to play. Is this a new planet or an old planet? New planets have more volcanoes and more rainforests. Older planets more desert and hills. Um, Resources, are they abundant or are they super scarce? Is this an arid planet? So there's no water, and then also there's no resources. So it's going to be very, very difficult to do anything. So this is the idea, is that like you guys could control this game and make it as miserable as possible for me. And that's a thing with Twitch viewers like to watch gamers be miserable while they play and know that they had a part in it. Like you're struggling with this and you're frustrated because I paid $2 to make sure your planet had no resources. And it's like, yeah, but I'm having fun playing it. It's for a cause. So this is something I wanted to try out and see if I could get some traction because, yeah, I do want to get more activity on Twitch, but I also want to help raise money when I don't have a lot of disposable income to donate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my actions are like send Chris a handful of cards that are like okay cards. If you racked one or two of those cards that I sent you to someone for like an Eric Hecker rack, they'd be like, hey, that's pretty cool. So I was like, you know what, these are quality cards, in a bundle, or some of them by themselves would be like, hey, this is pretty cool. So it's like, yeah, I could donate that, and then I could also donate my time and try to do stuff like this. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm going with it. And enough time with me. I want to take it back to you because I think people will understand more once they hear this. But it's not about me, but me. This part is about you, helping you do the Special Olympics thing. So, what do you want to talk about now? You want to talk about our Broncos? You want to talk about cards? You want to talk about why OnlyFans has rejected me 10 times for know your customer identification?
No, I've got accepted. I started selling my farts.
I
No,
I DM'd Ivan because
I,
Ivan got this. He was involved with all the people complaining about Top Shot. Like Top Shot never let me cash out. It's all bull crap. Their ID stuff. And I was like, I sent them my ID and I cashed out that night or
yeah.
the next day. OnlyFans has rejected me 10 times to
Yeah,
become
I keep telling
verified.
my wife, I'm like, we could be millionaires. You just take pictures of your feet or
Yeah.
something weird. Like, no one knows it's you. No one knows. She's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Which, I mean, I've said, I'm just kidding. I don't want my wife doing that anyways. I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what that Mercedes we've been talking about? Sell like 5 pictures of your feet and you'll be driving a brand new one next week. People are weird. Like,
Yeah, my wife was like, she's like, apparently there's a fetish where like women
yeah.
feed each other cake in bikinis and people pay money to watch that. She's like, I should find a friend to do that. I was like, I mean, if people pay you to do it, you want to do it. She's like, well, I
Yeah.
get to eat cake. And I was like, touche.
Well, big time Beck is what I call her now. My buddy Nick Lucchese was telling me there's a female wrestler named Becky something or other. I don't watch wrestling.
Becky Lynch, she's the man.
She said that she was Becky Lynch. Now she goes by Big Time Beck. And my wife just got a huge new promotion, so I just kept calling her the Big Cheese. You know, the Big Cheese. She makes more money than me. She's the Big Cheese. You know, super proud of her.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's like, oh, we got to call her Big Time Beck. I'm gonna go, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's head of human resources for a major company that keeps growing. Oh, you're Big Time Beck, all right.
Yeah. And congratulations, and tell her that we're so happy for her, and
it's an amazing opportunity for her.
She earned it with all her hard work and stuff. I do want to mention, you take the calls, and that's very important. I have friends that were police officers, some still are, and I have some friends that do take the calls. One of my good buddies, Matt, he's like a supervisor in this. I don't know if he's in Jefferson County, but yeah, dispatch takes the calls. And I had friends do it in Gunnison. Like, my friend's girlfriend, she took the call when my brother died, and she like took the call, called my brother, and then like texted me and was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, that was so hard when it's like a friend. So I just want to say I appreciate what you do. Your job is a nightmare. I can't imagine having to do it in a big city because, like, my friends, Gunnison's got like 6,000 people, so it's a small town and not a lot of crazy goes on. But having a city your size that you do it for, I just can't imagine. It just has to be crazy and a nightmare.
Well, my town does it a little different than other places. We're like cross-trained to do each thing, like call taker, police dispatch, fire dispatch, EM dispatch, or like leads machine, which is, running admin stuff, or like license plates, warrant checks. Where a lot of places are, you're a call taker, you're a police dispatcher, you're a fire dispatcher, and that's it. Like, you go to work every day, you're a police dispatcher. I go to work today, I was a police dispatcher. Tomorrow I'm gonna be a call taker. Next day I'm gonna be, the admin person. Next day I'm gonna be EMS. It's just, it's different every day because we have probably about 40,000 on a regular day. Work days maybe up to 70 with people coming in for businesses. I think it was like 750,000 calls for service a year in my jurisdiction. We work 3 shifts and then a couple swings, 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7. Finally, I got on first shift after 13 years. I've taken some tough calls, and, growing up in this town too, I've had friends who've gotten DUIs. I gave last Christmas a guy who was my assistant coach on my baseball team that I was the head coach. He was my assistant. I had to give his wife CPR and he didn't make it. That's probably one of the hardest things. I had a guy shoot himself in the head while on the phone with me. Like, I heard his last words, I heard the gunshot, and it went off. I still have nightmares about that.
Yeah, that's
People
why I said,
they want to call us not first responders, but I have PTSD from it. Absolutely. 2 of our officers were murdered on duty in 2018. Like, I got a tattoo of him on my back. I drove by the medic on my way to work that had him in it without knowing, then worked like 18 hours that day. Grew up with his wife, one of their wives, since I was in middle school, grew up 6 houses down from the other. And it's crazy how people you get yelled at all the time, like all day long on the phone. You're just trying to help people. That's why I think I got, when I got into the hobby, I had, this is actually my burner account is Goldline. I'm actually a whole nother person. I'm King Scally with my 800 followers. And now I'm Goldline with my 5,000. But it's like, it's just in my genes to help people. And, we were like you said, we were putting together that DM real quick right before we got here, and you're like, well, you just kind of took the lead. I'm like, that's just how it is. Like, hey, you got the idea, but you always need a front person.
Yep.
And we've talked about it before. Like our buddy Wes is like, hey, I got this, but you guys need to take care of it. Like you have to have that person who does the stuff.
Yes.
And like you said, Anna does the stuff. Like I do the stuff. Eric does the stuff. And that's great. You need somebody, but you need people like you and Che and Jen and, our buddy Ben and not Nolan Ryan, who I'm not sure he wants me to say his name. So he's not Nolan Ryan on here.
I called him Brian, so it's out. He's doxxed.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of just in my nature to want to help people,
Yeah.
and I get into trouble myself. Like you said, disposable income. Like I don't have that much, and I tend to overspend money that I don't have. Then I get myself in trouble because I'd rather see you happy than see me happy. I'd rather send you a good-looking Dansby card than me get a Cody Bellinger, and that's just we talk about all the times when you're opening stuff. I get a White Sox card, goes right in Nick's pile. I get Rockies, goes right in Tom's pile. I get Detroit Tigers, goes right in Kelly's pile. And it's, anytime you get a Moustakis, it's going to Dylan. So you just like, you're opening cards, but are you really keeping them? Like here for you, for you, for you, for you, for you. Awesome.
Yeah. And no, that's, I sent you a package. And when I sent your package, I sent Moose, like, that standard, UPS box. It's like $16. No matter how much it weighs, it weighed probably 30 pounds. And I mean, it was like bulging. Like I had to tape it. I sent him so much stuff. I sent a couple other racks out, that I'm long behind on. And it's, you open something.
I've got my own mailers now.
That is cool.
This is going out to Kevin Fee that I've owed him for about 3 months because you talked me into it the other day. I'm like, hey, you're not the only one. Like I've had this for like 3 months. So finally, Kevin, it's going out.
I was 6 months behind. I had to go back 6 months to my DMs to find addresses for some people. And it's just like, it's embarrassing, but then you're like, they're my buddies. So they understand, like it's free cards. And they know that I'm not ripping anybody off. So, that makes the pressure off. But at some point, and thankfully, it was because of my wife. She's like, you need to mail these cards out. And I was like, thank you. That's all I wanted was your permission to mail these out. That was like half the thing. It's like, I've got 10 packages, you're going to be $50 to $80 to mail all this out. And she was like, just mail them one at a time. And then, I did that for a while. I mailed a few out a couple months ago, I think. And then it was just like on the back burner again. But then it was like, okay, she's like, mail out all of these. And I was like, yes.
and what's really cool about that is when other people ask you for someone's address.
Yes.
I always ask the person if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like just last week, someone said, hey man, you got Che's address? Hit Che up. Like, hey, someone wants to send you a rack. Can I give them your address? Like, I'm not just randomly giving out addresses. People, but I've got all of your addresses. I've got them all. Yes. I'm going to blackmail all of you with the little poker chip. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke between me and Midwest, but no, I'm just kidding around. Ben's a great guy, but yeah,
he
and
is, just to go back to that, like I didn't know Ben that well until he was on my show. And then, I was like, once I talked to him and, he's explaining how he is as a person, I was like, hey, I dig it. I respect him. I know why, he runs the things he does and he has his rules and, some people crossed him and, it's like, well, that's, like you message them to remove it and they say no. And then, block them. So
bye, Felicia.
It's like, that makes perfect sense to me. Like, I'm not that way because I'm not trying to run a, tight sales thread or anything like that. But if I was and people were disregarding the whole rules set, I'd be pissed and be like, get out of here. You're not part of this community now or my community. So, but yeah. We should get poker chips or something for our club or something fun. We have your koozies, but maybe we should come together or something and have some little challenge coin or something. That would be pretty sweet for all of us. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Because my buddy
all get together in Gatlinburg one of these summers, we'll have some chips to play with, right?
Yeah. That'd be great. Are you going to go to the National this year? Have you thought about it?
I have not bought tickets, but we are planning on going.
Okay.
I'm going to Collecticon in Orlando next month.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it kind of all came together real quickly. I'm in this just Discord with like 30 people and only like 5 of us chat with each other and all like, hey, we got this going on in Orlando. My buddy Nick lives there. He's like, hey, if you want to come down, you can crash on my couch. Like, absolutely. So I
Yeah.
got a cheap plane ticket going down on a Friday, coming back on a Sunday. My wife was all about it. Like, hey, just go ahead, have a good time with your friends. So there's like 10 of us going down from our little group. And then the national, I've got that week off work. My wife was supposed to go to Washington, D.C. with one of her friends for a book convention, but then her friend got pregnant, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
she's going to be like 38 weeks pregnant
Yeah.
or like
Not
really,
that-
really far along. She's like, yeah, we're not going anymore. I'm like, all right, cool. Because we're going to Atlantic City then.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go for a couple of days, then maybe drive down to Ocean City because we take the whole family out there. We used to go to Atlantic City a lot before the hurricane came through. I feel like it's just not the same town since. It's a lot dirtier and grimier. It used to be really, really nice and loved going to the beaches there and the casinos. Always stayed at the Tropicana. And now it's like I'll go for maybe a day or two, then head down to Ocean City with the family. We're planning on like driving through Hershey, hopefully get to see Brant, to Philly, see my buddy Abdul, then out to Atlantic City, down to Ocean City, then like back to DC, then back to Columbus, and try to get
Yeah.
like an 8-day vacation in. So it's gonna,
That'll be fun.
yeah, hopefully it works out. I
Yeah.
got the time off work. My wife's got the time off work, but just gotta, get the puzzle pieces and put them together.
Yeah, people keep bugging me to go, and I just like I don't know. But my little brother, because I messaged him, he's my card buddy. He's the reason why I'm back into cards. And I was like, "You want to go?" He's like, "No, I can't, but I'm gonna help pay for you to go." And I was like,
Ooh.
"Well, that would make me feel bad." But then again, if I should just go once just to say I go and meet all my buddies, because who
Mhm.
knows which buddies will be around or if I'll be around when I can get my act together
Absolutely,
and go
man.
for the big deal. So I might take my little brother up on that and try to save up, sell some stuff, or you know get rejected by OnlyFans for another 30 times until they accept me, and then put some feet pictures up and rock and roll.
What's hilarious is we have like a coffee cart downstairs. And when I get mail days, typically I put like next to the coffee maker on this coffee cart until I get a chance to take them upstairs. One day, apparently, my kid, one of them knocked a bunch of cards off because I go. Claire's birthday is this past weekend, so we're like
Mhm.
deep cleaning the house and everything because all these people are coming over. I go to clean behind the coffee maker, and on the floor right there is the feet picture on top of a Cooper cup. So you must have sent them a Cooper Cup along with it or something, or they got mixed together. But I found your feet picture card along with a Cooper Cup on, behind our coffee maker.
Yeah,
So
I
it
sent a
was sitting
Cooper
there.
Cup. I had a Prism Cooper Cup, and I was like, I'm just gonna send it. Just hey, another Cooper
Mhm.
to the pile. He might not be what he's collecting, but yeah, I sent. I know I sent a Puig Prism rookie for Bex. I
Yeah,
sent a
she's
Cooper
got that
Cup.
in her
I sent a
collection.
feet picture. I sent some reds, like a red short print, and like some Pokemon, and not nothing crazy, but just like, hey, these were in your pile, and I wanted to send you some stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, those are the
that's
best.
funny. It was hidden by a kid. They must have
Yeah.
knocked it off.
He was like, "Ooh, feet! I have those too." Like, awesome. I can play with his feet and he can play with mine. He'd be like, Dad, smell my stinky foot. And I'm like, PU, Dad.
See, that's the dream, is to find other foot models and just mash cupcakes with our feet and make millions of dollars. Just
I'll support your dream from afar. Hey, whatever makes you happy, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine, and I'll
Oh,
see you in
nothing makes
Denver in
me
the
happy,
fall.
Chris.
Like,
Talking to my buddies makes me happy. I mean,
awesome.
when you say
Hey,
like, sometimes, you're just down and you're in a rut and you're just like, nothing makes me happy. But really, I mean, this show, you and me, right? I mean, how much have I laughed and how much have I smiled? Like, so much.
yeah.
It hurts already. And, we haven't even gotten to, a lot of the other topics that we could talk about. So,
Well, I'm gonna segue into the next one here if you're cool with that,
absolutely.
because we are coming to Denver this year.
Absolutely.
for a game. My 40th birthday is in October. So our plan is we're gonna leave the kids home, go to Las Vegas for 2 days, come
Ooh.
back to Denver for a game, and then head back home. So we definitely want to go to a game in Denver this fall is the plans. And I know you live out there, so
Mhm.
gonna finally get to meet Big Tommy style. So
Absolutely. Just let me know which game it is, and I can,
yeah,
try to find. I'll hit up Minuteman Scott and see if
because
I can get a
Scott
sweet
lives
deal.
3 minutes down the road from me. So
Yeah.
hey Scott, you want to have
We
lunch
need
today and
3
talk some
tickets.
tickets? Like, yeah, Scott and I went out to lunch like 2 weeks ago. I mean, like he literally lives like the street right over there. Drive 3 minutes down there, hang a left, and there's his place. Like
That's
that's it.
awesome. I man, so there's a lot of great people in Denver, and Colorado is such a great state that, it's so beautiful and there's so much things to do out here in a way, but then like there's part of me that's just like I want to be back east so much more right now because it's like all my buddies are back east and like all these independent and wrestling shows like I want to go to, like we're talking Broncos and usually like the cheapest Bronco tickets like 100 something, 150
Yeah,
bucks.
they're ridiculous.
And it's like, like, oh, you could go to see an AEW show on the floor for like $45. And I'm just like, like if I live back east, I could go to do all these more fun things. And then, my rent wouldn't be so high. But it would take me a lot to pull away from
Yeah.
Colorado. I was telling Che, like, if something happened, my wife left me, got tired of my Snoopy hat. I was like, I'm just going to move in with you, buddy. So it would take
We
a
we've
tragedy.
we've talked about moving to Denver. We like the Fort Collins area a lot, up where New Belgium Brewing is. We always go there every time we come out there, and so that like there or like Western Florida, Tampa, Bradenton area. We've always talked about just like picking up and moving. Like, I don't think we could ever leave really. I mean, like right now would be the perfect time while our kids are young. But we
Yeah.
have like the absolute best neighbors. Like we hit the neighbor jackpot. Like we went out of town this weekend, come home, my driveway snowblowed. Our next door neighbors, my kids' godparents, and they're gonna be the if my wife or I die, they'd be their guardians.
Yeah.
So, and my mom and dad are just down the road, and my brothers live here. Like, I don't know if I could leave my family. Like, 5 years ago, pick up and leave, bye. But now, like the dream, retire out on a mountainside in Colorado somewhere, just go look for Bigfoot every day with my Jeep Wrangler and run shit over. So,
That is the life. That's the high school life that we lived was get your junk truck and go four-wheeling back, get lost, start a
well,
fire and hang out. Yeah,
I,
so good.
I see the comments because I just figured out how to read them from this side because I've never been on
Holy
on
cow, we have so many
yeah.
comments that I had completely
Yeah.
ignored. God, we're so bad. I'm so bad at this, guys. So what happens is I do the little tab so I can throw up my video, and then I forget to change it back to the comments. So let's run through these real quick. More cowbell. This is what Shay says. O'Neill says hi, Tom and Chris. Hello, all. Christopher V.
Chris
Chase,
Vargo.
just chasing the graph. Yo. Favorite YouTube moment, Chris Vargo. That actually sounds fun. I was huge into StarCraft. I think I'd like this. Yes, talk about the video games.
That's
The
Kevin.
volcanoes. And yeah. Oh, that is Kevin. Okay, yes. So real quick about the volcanoes, it's a little tile. They're all like little octagon tiles that the map is made up. So it's one tile and it could blow like up to 3 tiles away and just level stuff. I was playing the game a while ago and I was losing like 4 population, which is I think like supposed to be like 10,000 people or so. So like a volcano erupts, I lose 40,000 people of my population. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Fun game and looking forward to it. My buddy Gerald, he stopped in and yeah, wants me to go to the national and got spammed there. He said, Chris, so waiting to do lunch with you. That's one of the questions I had for Tom. I like my buddy Gerald. He's a really good guy. He's been on my show a couple times. I've blacklisted him until he does some content of his own to try to help push him along, because he just wants to be me. And I was like, Gerald, you can be better than me. You're 10 years younger. You could do this. You could start your show now and you'll be 10 years ahead of me when you get to me. So Gerald, that's why.
Let's
and
get
then also,
let's get a show going. Let's do it.
And it's just 10 minutes, man. Just talk about yourself, 10 minutes. So you hit that sweet, sweet ad revenue time, which none of us get.
Yeah, I don't have 1,000 subscribers.
But yeah, just like, hey, take time, tell a 5-minute story, throw it up a couple times a week, and then when you come back on the show, we have content.
You get yourself a card like this, and then you just talk about it. It's an Elway downtown. Like, you know what? I saw this on eBay, and I had a back procedure, and I was under a little bit of drugs, and I bid on this, and I didn't remember doing it. And then all of a sudden, hey, you won this card for way more than I should have paid. I'm like, man. Okay, I'm gonna pay for it. And it came in the mail. You know what? That's a good story. And I just took like 1 minute and 6 seconds to tell it. If you only need 10 minutes, then you can talk about what color the bubble mailer is, because I strictly use gold mailers. So I'm Goldline Cards. You get one of these in the mail. You know what I saw today? Jimmy Bible uses gold mailers. I told him I got a patent on that, and I'm gonna sue him for copyright infringement. But then he reminded me that it's the Hobby Fam Revival, and he goes by Jimmy Bible. Yeah, but I am his hobby hero, so
yeah, that's right.
No, I'm just kidding around, though.
That's my favorite GIF that I use now is the redheaded gal that pulls out the switchblades and goes, "I will cut you." So when people talk about feet or something, like, NFT people, there'll be like a gal that's like, "Hey, I should just sell my NFTs or feet as NFTs and make money like with all these other thirst traps." And I'm just like, stay away from feet. I will cut you.
Feet is Tom's thing.
I'm not going to cut anybody. But yeah, it's fun to joke like, hey, back off. That's my thing. Snoopy hat. If I see a Snoopy hat at the National, I am going to punch someone in the back of the head. Not the front, because I'll see that coming and kick my ass. But if I hit him in the back, I could probably run off before they can do anything about it. But yeah, the National, because I know Che's going to be there. Bella Baseball, Yash, she wants to go.
Nice.
And she was kind of like, she's like, I need someone I could trust to hang out with on the floor. She's like, my mom's going to go, but she's not going to want to be on the floor all day for that. So she's like, I need an accountability buddy to help me out, while I have my headphones on and, keep an eye out for me. And I was like, that's a lot.
That's a big responsibility. Yeah.
That's a lot to babysit a 20-year-old girl. I've never babysat a 20-year-old girl before. Like 22. That's my wife's age when I met her. Yes. But, but like I would do that for her because I want to spend time with her. And if I could help her have one enjoyable day just by hanging out, then, I would. But, it's just a lot, like a lot of money that I don't have, but I could get. So that's why, I'm not promising anybody I'm going to be there. I'm going to try and we'll see, so.
I got a feeling that you're just gonna be like, no, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. And you're gonna need a bunch of like green smoke bombs and like just come in and throw green smoke bombs along with some stink bombs and come out with like stinky feet, like smelly feet version of like Ghostbusters jamming in the background. And come out with like your toenails painted, like walk through and like come up on the podium, be like, do you smell what the Rock is cooking or something crazy like that?
That would be
like,
amazing.
Oh, Tom's here, cool. So anyways, back to this Tom Brady PSA 10. I give you like $6,000 for it, man. Yo, Tommy boy, what up, dog? Like a grand entrance wearing like a Chicago Blackhawks jersey with a wedding dress or something, like Billy Corgan. That was like the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I would wear a wedding dress with my Snoopy hat if I could.
It'd be
someone pay me to do it. Really,
my wife's got hers at my parents' house. I could probably fit into it. No, I can't. I can't fit into that at all. Maybe a whole lifetime ago.
Yeah, just go down to Goodwill and just say, hey, any broken dreams here?
Any broken dreams?
I'm looking for a 3X and broken dreams wedding dresses.
Since you're talking about broken dreams, Tom, are we gonna have Drew Lock Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, or Russell Wilson?
None of the above.
What really gets me is they tried so hard for Kirk Cousins years ago. Like Cousins was all set to come, and Kyle Shanahan. Then Cousins like, oh, I'm gonna sleep on it. Change his mind in the middle of the night. Then Shanahan goes to San Francisco. It's like, oh, let's get him 4 years later when he's done nothing in between. It's like, no. I mean, if they get
Cousins,
him, it's obviously an upgrade over what we
yes,
have. But Rodgers, he's not coming. Russell Wilson, like maybe. Like
maybe,
I'd give up Jerry Judy a first and Chubb, maybe
probably
like
two firsts,
two
which is
first. And
fine for a
bye,
quarterback like
Bradley
that.
Chubb is nice seeing you. For
Yeah,
Russell, like I'll take Matt Ryan, like, but
there's a
I don't
lot
like.
of people I take right
I
now.
don't. I really like Drew Lock though. I think he got the raw deal this year.
He did.
He's never had like a full off season as the starter. He's never had, the work to put
Hey,
in. And he
Kev.
seems like such a fun person and he seems like a true leader. Even like in the Kansas City game, he goes down and gets that fumble, which I thought for sure was a fumble. We got the ball back. You see Teddy's like, okay, bye, score your touchdown, have a good time. Which I get too, because he's been career-ending injuries
Yeah.
twice. And Locke's out there playing with heart, showing his team that he's a leader. And to me, Teddy did nothing to be a leader. We were all riding the Teddy train the first 3 games. Then it's like, okay, you played nobody junior, and nobody the third. And you get to play, and then you see Locke. I'm like, okay, a pass more than 6 yards. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Judy's finally dropping more balls because they're getting to him. Cortland Sutton's going off. I mean, you got Sutton and Fant and Judy. We'll have Hamler back.
Patrick,
Don't
Timmy
forget Tim
Pats.
Patrick, who has dropped 0 balls in like 8 years.
I think he's got 1 or 2 this year though. He slumped when Sutton slumped, and that was just they. So Drew got a bad deal because they were never going to let him be the starter, no matter what he did in the preseason. They were 100% focused on Teddy, and the whole training camp stuff was just BS to try to appease the fans. Vic Fangio at the halftime of one of those games, they were like, I think it was the second game when Drew Lock was like near, 4 drives and 3 touchdowns and like no picks and all this great stats. And they ask him like, hey, how's Drew Lock playing? He's like, well, Teddy's done a lot too. Those are like the first words out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And right then I was like, it's over. Drew Lock doesn't have a chance. But I was like, okay, if they could build something around Teddy, Teddy did good with the Saints. He, didn't have a good year with Carolina, but maybe with the weapons we have, he'll be like the Saints, where he's 5-0, filling in for Drew Brees a couple years ago. And, he did. Yeah, we beat the teams we should have beat, which is a big upgrade from the previous years at the beginning of the season. I mean, we lost the teams we should have beat later on in the season, but
I was at Pittsburgh and we should have beat Pittsburgh. Like
we should have beat Pittsburgh. We should have beat a lot of teams and
beat Oakland the first time.
And the second time, and
should have beat Kansas City the second time.
We're what, like 1-11 under Fangio or something versus the Chiefs and the Chargers. No, 1-8, 1-7, 1-7.
Thanks for watching. It's all bad, man. But like looking at coaches, like I'm all about Leftwich or Bieniemy, which I don't think are coming. They interviewed Kellen Moore today. Said Dan Quinn's the front runner, which they go defense all the time for a head coach. If you get yourself a good offensive coordinator, like that, I'm okay with that. Everyone's like, oh, Adam Gase this, Adam Gase that. Who's the offensive coordinator of that team? Peyton Manning. Like, but they say, oh, Elway's such a great GM. He did all this. Like, who's the great GM? It was Peyton Manning. Because Elway wasn't bringing people in. You know what the selling point was? Hey, go win a Super Bowl, Peyton Manning. Okay. DeMarcus Ware, you want to win a Super Bowl, Peyton Manning? Okay. Yeah. Like Demarius, you want to stay and win a Super Bowl? All right. Hey, Keep to leave. You want to rip another chain off Michael Crabtree? Yeah, dog, that's cool. Like, hey, Harris Jr., take a pay cut to go win a Super Bowl, You're getting these all-pro people to come in for no money to play with Peyton Manning. It's like, okay, let's all go take pay cuts to play with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Like, all right, let's go win a Super Bowl because I'm in, my twilight and I have nothing else to do. So then, Peyton leaves and you have one good draft. Like last year's draft, amazing. Garrett Bowles sucked forever and then 2 good seasons, like
Yeah.
Elway has not, like Paxton Lynch. Okay, Drew
Elway,
Lock, like
he is and yes, having Manning played a big part of it, but Elway is a, hey, let's get free agents guy, not a draft guy.
yeah,
And you got to have someone that can draft. And Peyton being the scout, that's what he grew up doing. That makes me feel better. Dan Quinn, I listened to a lot of sports radio in Denver, and Tyler Columbus was on our Super Bowl team. That year, he
yeah,
was cut by the Falcons, who Dan Quinn was the coach of. And he said Dan Quinn is like the greatest guy he's like ever been around as a coach.
like as a human being or as a
Yeah,
coach?
like as a human being and
Okay.
like a coach. Like you see Dan Quinn with his backwards hat and being like a little bit of a goofy and having all this like energy that a lot of people would call phony. But Tyler said like it's not phony. He's genuine. He really is passionate. And he really does care. And he sends you text messages to just cheer you up or like boost you up, out of the blue. So
he's like K-Dub.
yeah, he's a K-Dub. He is the K-Dub of coaches.
Because I get like 3 text messages a week at like 3:00 in the morning because we're on different time zones. And K-Dub, like, hey, I prayed for you today, or hey, my guy, I know you're going through some tough times. Like, greatest
awesome.
dude I know.
And I'm not saying I think Dan Quinn is the front runner because he's been a head coach and he has delegated. He's not I'm a defensive guy, so I'm a defensive coach. He's like, I have a defensive philosophy and I will have someone run that. And I'm going to have someone run the offense, but I'll call plays if I have to. If the guy's having a bad game, I'll do what I need to do. But he's like the coach, all around coach. Nathaniel Hackett, apparently the Green Bay offensive coordinator, is the guy that is a lot of people are clamoring for out here. And I think people want like Rodgers to come with them. Like, guys, you can't expect that to happen like in any way at all. Like if we get Nathaniel Hackett, he's just going to be Nathaniel Hackett. There ain't going to be no package with no super stud quarterback.
The dream is Hackett, and then you get Rodgers, and then Devontae Adams comes over. So then all of a sudden we got, we're better than the Chiefs. Like absolutely we are.
But and we could send one of our wide receivers back in the trade, like, hey, or he's a free agent, so we could trade one of our wide receivers to someone else, because man, that's a crowded locker room with all those wide receivers. But I'd rather have Adams than anyone else we have right now, so.
And selfishly, I want Judy to prosper because I have a huge Jerry Judy PC. But it's like he is like Dropville Central. And you look at all the other Alabama receivers being amazing. It's like, what's going on with Jerry?
Yeah.
But like Sutton was way better than I thought he was going to be. Like I remember when Denver drafted Demaryius over Dez, I'm like, what are you doing? Then after like 2 seasons, like, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
They draft Cortland Sutton. I'm like, why? Then after like 3 games, like, okay, ordering my Cortland Sutton jersey. Great. I got as soon as they drafted KJ Hamler, I'm like, all right, either Sutton or Patrick are gone. There's no way they're keeping all 4 of them. Well, then you just sign both of them to a contract extension. Yep. So maybe they're thinking of trading, maybe they're not. But, Patrick and Sutton have clearly outplayed, injured Hamler and Judy. But then you got Albert Okwuegbunam, who's outplayed Fant, who's your stud guy coming out and who's supposed to be the next Gronk, who isn't. But also it's like you can't tell how good these guys are because you got nobody throwing them the ball. It always reminded me of like Ben Roethlisberger. Like he went to the perfect situation for the Steelers. If you would have put like Roethlisberger on the Browns, he plays 2 seasons and he's selling used cars in Finley.
Yeah.
You put like Brady Quinn on that Steelers and he's going to the Hall of Fame. I mean, he went to the factory of sadness where his career ended. When you walk into like the perfect situation, you know what I mean? Like
factory of sadness, was that Denver or Cleveland?
Well, right now Denver, but Cleveland. like Mac Jones right now is in the perfect situation. Yeah. I think if you put, Fields on that team, he's better. You put Trevor Lawrence on that team, he's better. You put Mac Jones down in Jacksonville, and he's probably already retired.
That's what people are like mad about. Like the Broncos, like, oh, you didn't draft Fields or you passed on Mac. Fields maybe might have had a little bit more success than Mac would have had here in Denver because he could run and make plays with his legs. Had to get out of the terrible play calls that Shermer was calling. But Mac would have just been ate up, like it was not a good situation for a rookie quarterback. Our line regressed this year. We had a lot of injuries, and that Teddy got beat the crap out of. And Drew, he gets rid of the ball. He does throw it. And sometimes it's interceptions, but that was one thing.
Though.
Yeah.
You kind of need to when you're down by 30. You don't need 6 yards passes. You need 40 yards down the field, hope for a defensive pass interference, or Cortland Sutton just jumps over somebody.
Hey, our buddy Kelly showed up. Kelly, we love you, man. Thanks for the call last night. Kelly, I was his rack of the month, and we busted a couple boxes. It was an update and a 10 of Series 1. And and it was like you said, oh, hey, look, I got a shiny Royals card. Know whose pile that's going in. And he's like, oh, hey, I got a gold Rockies. I guess we got the wrong boxes. So it's like, yeah. So, that's the fun of breaking with your friends is, just talking back and forth, like who's going to get this card. I pulled a shiny Yadier Molina, and I was like, well, I know who's going to get this card, So
the fire pit.
Yeah.
Not going to Jen. You're going to use it for embers.
No, it's going to go to Jen, but it's going to be sandwiched between more feet cards.
Make sure you put it in a one touch.
Oh, she's got more feet cards than anyone else, and boy, she hates them so much.
I bet Chase is cool with that. Like, hey, this guy sending my girlfriend feet pictures. Good thing I'm one of his top 3 favorite people on the internet. So.
I don't think they wanted that to be out, but
sorry. No, there's only like 3 people watching. They all know
keep it on the DL, guys. So the Broncos, like I would normally be excited, new head coach, new opportunities, but we've been through this like 4 times in the last 6-7 years, and man, this sucks. I'm not excited. I might have to see change before I'm excited.
But you got such a young nucleus, especially on the defense. Like all of them are super young, playing great. We just need some linebackers. I mean, you got Surtain, incredible. New safety Stroud, I think it was Stern. I keep getting mixed up with CJ Stroud because that's all anybody in Columbus talks about. Stern's incredible. Browning, Jonathan Cooper. Like I told Becky, like if he's a 7th round pick, we need to get my son a Cooper jersey next year because he was a baller this year. Defensive line played well. Shelby Harris in the middle, like he's just such a fun human being, I think. And I really dig the guy, the offensive lineman, Morans, or I can't ever pronounce his name right. Myers.
Quinn Miners.
Miners, that's right. Who went to an island to work out by himself for months. Like that is so cool. They call him the Vancouver Island his stomach trees. When Garrett Bowles, gets his life together, is finally good. Cushenberry can be an upgrade, but I don't think we'll see Melvin back. But you got Javonte, and he's just the most fun person to watch. Like, okay, we got a 6-yard, we got a 30-yard gain from a 6-yard loss. Like
smash.
Whoop. Like, what? After I'm done talking to you, I'm about to order a jersey, like right now, because you see my closet just full of them back there. Like,
that's awesome.
I have way too many.
I have 2. I have Terrell Davis and I have Philip Lindsay, and so 30.
That's Phillip, all. I don't have Terrell.
Man, that broke my heart too, is the disrespect Philip got.
Yeah, and he's still getting it. Like he's down in Miami putting in work because he left Houston. Nobody likes Philip.
I don't know why. He seems like I met him and he seemed like the nicest guy. So I don't know what it is, if it's just that bias against size that's still going around, or like, hey, he's not going to last because, he's a running back that's, on the smaller side, but he's shown, he had some injuries with us, but he's still produced. So, I'm always going to root for the guy. Like, I don't care. So it's that brings up a good point you just made that I'm going to talk about for a second, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
I feel like the younger generation is not is no longer rooting for teams, but rooting for players. Like, I'm going to root for Philip Lindsay, but I'm always going to be a Broncos fan. Or
Mhm.
like, Claire's rooting for Jesse Winker. If he leaves the Reds, is she a Reds fan or a Winker fan? Especially in the year of, just watching highlights and no one watches games anymore. Or
Yep.
like you said, like NFTs, you can own a Tom Brady, this or that. Like, you're a Tom Brady fan, not a Buccaneers fan. Or an Aaron Rodgers fan. Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers, you're going to go follow Aaron Rodgers. It reminds me of like when the Broncos would play the Bengals. Indianapolis is really close. So when Peyton was on them, a ton of, like, I'd say like 50% of the fans are either Broncos or Peyton Manning. People there in Peyton Manning Colts jerseys
Yep.
just to watch Peyton Manning because they're fans of him. Obviously the Colts, but rooting for the people. And with players changing teams so often now, that it's really hard. Like, I'm going to root for Drew Lock wherever he goes, but I'm still, my heart is in Denver and always will be. But other people might, not feel the same way. Like, okay, Matt Stafford, Eloy, our buddy, is a huge Lions fan, loves Stafford. He's rooting for him like nobody's business down in the Rams. And Cooper Kupp's from his town, so he's like, oh, I love the Rams. Detroit's my guy, but I'm watching the Rams right now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call it a bandwagon, but it's like, okay, I like watching Juan Soto play. I don't like Washington, but when I was in Washington, I went to a game to see Soto.
Mhm.
Like, okay, they're coming to town. I'm going to go, if they're coming to see the Reds, I'll go out of my way to see, like the Braves are coming. I got like 4 or 5 people in our group, Kevin and Zach and Anna, they're all Braves fans. We're all trying to meet at the game to see, Acuna play. I just feel like it's trending towards more of liking players than liking teams.
Absolutely. That's the fantasy football aspect kind of for
Oh, that's a
football.
good point.
For basketball, I call that the LeBron James effect, people following LeBron James around. So these things are all happening in different sports at the same time. And for baseball, I'll just call it the baseball card effect. I like Ronald Acuna and I bought a bunch of his rookies. So I have to have him be the guy or I'm going to, lose my house. Not that that's true, but it's the what have you done for me in fantasy? What have you done for me with
Yeah.
collectibles? What have you done for me as like an icon? Like LeBron, he's an icon. He's above the sport for a lot of people. And that's kind of where it all happened in the last 10 years. LeBron doing all his take my talents to South Beach. We love LeBron. We got to follow him because he's like the greatest ever. And then the fantasy football, I'm going to get it. I did that. I bought an Adrian Peterson jersey because I drafted him his rookie year and he was my best fantasy player, and I was like, I like Adrian Peterson, but if the Broncos and the Vikings were going to play, I would set fire to Adrian Peterson myself for my team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. It's the Broncos or nothing. I will root for people like, hey, good. Like I'm rooting for Emmanuel Sanders in Buffalo.
You see his bow and his
DT.
salute.
Yeah. He had the cleats.
DT.
And then he
Vaughn
had
a DT shirt on.
because the bow and the salute's what he did in Denver, the Mile High Salute. And you just saw that and you're like, that's for DT, man. Like right there. I'm rooting for Von Miller in Los Angeles, like, hey, if the Rams do well, I've got Von there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But if they're playing my team, I'm not going to show up to Mile High Stadium with a 40 Rams Von Miller jersey to watch Von Miller play the Broncos. No, I'm going to hope Von Miller
gets 4 sacks, but then the Broncos win 41-20.
Just know that Garrett Bowles just handles him, just manhandles him, and just pancakes him and dominates him. Von Miller has nothing to say. Von Miller, you're dead to me when you play the Broncos. But other than that, I love you, brother.
I'm real glad you brought up LeBron because, living in Ohio, it was a huge deal when he left. People were rioting in the streets, burning his jersey, death threats and stuff. As soon as he says, I'm back, I love you. Let me buy your jersey again. And then when they won, like, I cried like it was the 98 Super Bowl when Elway won. Like I was standing in my living room when the ball went out of bounds. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to win. There's 3 seconds left. They can't lose. I'm like losing my mind. My wife and I went to the Eastern Conference Finals that year. And I'm just sitting there like, blown away, of all the factory of sadness, the mistake by the lake, the whole city of Cleveland, like everything just went away in one moment, and it was thanks to LeBron. That everybody knew he was leaving after that too, but he
Yeah.
brought the championship. Like Cleveland hasn't had a winning record since 1995 without LeBron on the team. Like he's been on the team of every winning team. Like they will this year because they're actually good again. But yeah, LeBron is. I mean, I also imagine like Jordan or Kobe playing in today's society with, you know, the deals you can make now, and the coverage is so much different. Social media, like Jordan would probably have 15 people running his Twitter account just trolling people all day long with Allen Iverson clips or something. Like, I mean, just imagine, how transcendent that would be, because like they didn't have that back then. You didn't watch a Bulls game. What you did is went to the sports page that next day and you looked at the box score. I mean, there was no like, hey, you know what? This isn't a phone. This is a computer in my pocket. And I could
Yep.
follow along the Duke game right now or watch it on TV on my phone while I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to because that's rude, but you know what I mean? Like I could. But back
That's
then,
another
it
thing.
was like, ugh.
The social media aspect, you watch a YouTuber, and you feel like a connection with that person, like them, or like on a podcaster, like someone, you feel a connection with them because they're usually open. And social media gives fans this false sense of knowing and false sense of like relationship, like
Security.
so
Yeah.
like I follow this athlete, so I know all about his personal life, and oh man, and we'd be great friends, and we're so close, and it's like he doesn't even know you exist. He might have liked your tweet, but that's probably his assistant or something, so there's also that aspect, and that makes it easier to follow people from team to team. Yeah, like, oh, Bobo was traded. Okay, well, I'm still following him on Twitter. Oh, he failed his physical, now has to get surgery, and he's out for 18 weeks. Cool. I see that on Twitter. So it's that, you have that access to them at all times, and it's not just I'm reading the paper the next day, and that paper's really only covering the Nuggets, and oh yeah, LeBron won. So
And it's also like family members, and you bring up Jackson Mahomes and Mahomes' wife, and they're just. But like Ryan Castellanos, like Nick's brother, he is so freaking cool. Nick Castellanos' brother, he'll like live tweet from a game that he's sitting there at watching his brother play. Or he'll, you feel like you said, you feel like you know him through his brother because he's like, oh, Nick did this, Nick did that. Or
yeah.
like my wife follows the Reds players' wives and she actually like talks with them. Like there was a time where her and Todd Frazier's wife chatted like every single day about Roden and Fields stuff or something like that. Or she talked with, Tucker Barnhart's wife about different things. Or, back when Matt Latos wasn't a woman beater, well, he probably was. We didn't know it yet. He talked to Dallas Latos sometimes and, just about like cooking recipes. So you have access to these people who, like, for me, it's like, I loved Matt Latos. Like I thought he was just the best, the coolest. He was just like a badass out there. He just went out and shut you down, shoved it down your throat, and then let you know he just shoved it down your throat. But then he beat his wife and stuff. I'm like, oh, you can go to hell now. But
Yeah.
I didn't know that then. And so, I was a big fan. And all of a sudden, my wife's talking to his wife, like, wow, this is really cool. Like, awesome. Like you just said, like, you have more access to these people. Now, would Jordan be one of those people who have access to everything? Or he'd be like, Kevin Durant, you have access to nothing. I feel like he would be one of those, like, I'm a billionaire and you have no access to me because I'm Jordan. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to go gamble illegally on a golf course, but you're not going to know about it.
They would, though, because TMZ would be following him around and they'd have
Well,
pictures
yeah,
everywhere
you get
because we're in this constant consumer media society where
24-hour news. Like,
yeah,
it's
and
always
it's
there.
it's so garbage, man. Like there's news, and then there's like we have to make something up to be news.
And then there's reporting false Kobe Bryant death stuff where he died, but how many of those first reports were just wrong just so you could be first? Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to be right anymore. You want to be first, which is
Yep. Yeah.
especially awful in, a situation like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like though all those factors play into why people are, and I don't understand it because I am just team, like, oh, someone's on my team. Okay, cool. I'll add them to my PC. Oh, they left my team. Well, they're out of my PC box, and now I'm shipping it to D Moose so he could sell it for $1.
One question for you though, okay?
Okay.
Would you collect? Hold on, let me see how I want to think of this. Say this. Like I only collect like Broncos players when the Broncos uniform. Like I have 0 Champ Bailey cards from the Redskins, or like Clinton Portis with the Redskins. I got some Brandon Marshalls from Miami, but I don't like them. You know, I've got some Jay Cutlers from the Bears, but it's like Jay Cutler Broncos uni only.
Yeah.
Or, you know, Steve Atwater, no Jets, just give me Broncos uni only. Like I got a couple, but like I really go after the Broncos uniform. Now, are you that way where it's got to be the Broncos, or say, you know, it might, like you said, it's Broncos only, but could there be, you know, a guy who you like so much from the team? Say, you know, Vaughn, say he's got, you know, Rams cards. You're going to go buy some Vaughn Rams cards?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. I would if it was like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You know, Peyton Manning won us a Super Bowl. And yes, I would go get a Peyton Manning and a Colts rookie if I could afford it. You know, so someone of that stature, you know, like if I really wanted a DeMarcus Ware rookie, yeah, you know, like I'm not that big of a fan of his. I mean, I am, but you know, I'm not collecting of a big fan. Like, yeah, you know, that would be the instance where like I would be okay with it. Like if it was a rookie from another team, but they won a Super Bowl with us or made like a huge impact, Hall of Fame, Ring of Fame type career.
I think I'd have to be different, like the opposite. Like I wouldn't want Manning in a Colts, but if I was a Colts fan, I'd get him in a Broncos because like he left to go there. I'm trying to think of like someone who was transcendent for Denver who was amazing, and then you know went like Eric Decker or something. Like he was awesome, and then went to the Jets. Like no, not he doesn't even count, man. Like
because see, I had an Eric Decker rookie. His autograph looks like a penis. If you have it, you know it. It's kind of a donger of an autograph.
A donger, that's awesome.
I had a finest like blue rookie autograph of his. It was a sticker auto, you know, and I got a flawless, super awesome patch Eric Decker auto for the Jets the year after he left, and I was like, you know what? Here you go, Mary, who's my sister, who thought Eric Decker was hot and loved him. I was like, I don't want these in my house anymore. He's not a Bronco.
All right.
You can have them now. So, you know, for me, it just depends, you know. Yeah, like Eric Decker, he was a good player and I liked him when he was here, but he wasn't like, he didn't transcend or like be like the ultimate Bronco for me. Demaryius Thomas, you know, he's not going to have a lot of Houston cards or Patriots cards, but he's a player I'd probably go back and collect. And I think that's probably more because of his death, you know, but he was one of those players that like filled my heart, you know, like all the time. And I was rooting for him no matter what. So someone like that, sorry, I'm just kind of choking up literally and emotionally. Someone that like that, you know, like he is a Bronco Ring of Famer, you know, borderline Hall of Famer. Receivers, they have such a weird thing with receivers. There's so many receivers should be in the Hall of Fame that aren't, but you know, he's one of those borderline guys that's like he is a borderline Hall of Fame talent. Definitely a Broncos all-timer, greatest, if not, you know, second best Rod Smith receiver in our franchise history. You have to be on that level for me to want to collect your cards afterwards. So I'm not against it. You know, and I'm not, it just depends. Like I said, it just depends on the player and how big of an impact they had on me. And, you know, or if it's like a rookie and I can go back and it's from another team and they did something amazing here. So,
see, I also do, you know, I got my Broncos PC, Reds PC, and then it's like, okay, with baseball, I have my non-Reds PC, like Cody Bellinger, Carter Kaboom. Then I've got, you know, football. I'm trying to look around my room, like, okay, who do I got sitting here? Because I'm just like having a brain fart of who else like I like to collect that are non-Broncos, and it's like, give me all your Broncos. Like,
Yeah, I just want the Broncos.
and even like basketball, like I don't really even like basketball cards. I like college uniform Duke
Hmm.
cards, or like football. I like college uniform Notre Dame cards. Like no one collects the college unis. Like give me all of them, because like my best cards, my favorite cards are my Zions and RJ Barrett's prisms and their Duke unis. Or
Yep.
I've got some sweet Irish, like Chase Claypool's in his Irish jersey, and they're sweet, and I like those. So, different strokes for different folks. And I really
Yeah.
got into Pokemon lately. Like I had around the hobby with, JB and Shooty Stacks and Brad and some other guys that got me into Pokemon, and they got my daughter into it. We share that. Now I've got no idea what's good, what's not. I'm trying to put, sets together and trying to organize, but I've just got like thousands of cards just sitting here and I have no idea what they're worth, what to do with them. I'm just trying to sort. But man, I got two small kids. I don't have any time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, that's why we had to go late tonight. Is put my kids to bed. Like they're in bed. This is my free time for the night. Bedtime was an hour and a half ago for me. So
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to keep you up so late. We can go anytime you need to go. By the
nah,
way,
we'll go like five
I'm
more minutes if that's cool.
yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. So, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on. Nikola Jokic, he's one of those guys that I would collect if he went somewhere else, because he's just
Yeah.
such a dork, man. He won an MVP for Denver, and if he went to go join the Bucks to be the dominant team with Giannis, that would be okay with me, So that would make me. I would still collect him. But for baseball, no, man. Like it's Rockies or nothing. Like, hey, here's this Arenado Cardinals card. Nope, I don't want it. Get it. It hurts. Football, kind of the same. I don't collect people that aren't Broncos. So I'm just team, your team, but you do have some side players. I really don't have any side players. I'm mostly just my teams. So, it is a different world. I do need to read something because the Tom Show does have a sponsor, and I know you're not
Whoa,
into NFTs, but
that's huge.
yes, my buddy Cole. He is let me see here. It's in the title, but at Giant Giraffe NFT. Let me pull up what he wants to say. The Giant Giraffe Gang is a budding project coming out of Southern Ohio. Hey,
Oh,
it is a 3-person team who aims to bring light to the lesser known fact that in Africa, giraffes are poached too, mainly for their tails. With that said, we're committed to donating 10% of their secondary sales to the World Wildlife Fund, who oversees battling poaching of precious animals across the globe. The community is built on inclusivity and welcomes all users regardless of sexual orientation, religion, language, or beliefs. They aim to help relieve the NFT space of gaslighting and hatred that has started to take root in the space and are big on putting in the work to get the recognition we all deserve. They hope you consider joining the herd. I don't know how I came across him. Someone was like, hey, this guy's a nice guy. And I was like, okay, I'm following him. And, just that's how it works in like hobby Twitter. Someone's like, oh, hey, go follow Kelly. He's a good guy. And you're just like, okay, I'll give him a try. Give this
Steve
guy a
does that
try.
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I gave this Cole, the drafts guy, a try and, found out he's an interesting guy. He does photography. His wife, they just had a kid. So, you just hang out with people. And he's like, you know what, Tom? He's like, I will donate 100 giraffe NFTs. Once we start making them, 100 Tom Show audience related NFTs. So, Snoopy hats, sunglasses, bad ties, sports apparel. And he's like, you're going to get those and we'll just random them away, give them away, do whatever. So that's something that's going to come up when they start minting those. We're going to have 100 NFTs from them. Very small Discord community. I think they're giving away promo NFTs if you join their Discord right now. So
Well, send
they
me
add,
the information. Maybe I'll check it out at work tomorrow.
yeah. Do you have a MetaMask and all that set up, or are you far
I
behind?
I did, and then I got a new cell phone, and I don't know my login code, so I
The seed
have
phrase,
my
yes.
login phrase. So I've got a Blake coin and something else in my MetaMask that I can't get into.
Yeah, I lost
So
my
I
Blake
gotta
coin because of that too. So don't feel bad.
probably got to make a new one.
Make a new one, and yeah, we can set you up. But yeah, so hey, stick around. I have plans probably for people following on YouTube. guests, maybe some trivia questions, from the show you answer on Twitter, you can win a prize. That's not going to be coming soon, but I'm going to hype him up. He's a buddy. I would have hyped him up anyways, but
Absolutely.
donating 100 NFTs, that's specific to what we like here. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to take it. And anyone's going to say, hey, let's make Tom's show better and more attractive. Absolutely. I'm for it. So Chris, you're old man like me. You need to go to bed. Give your last word. Shout out to the Special Olympics. Remind people what we're here for.
Awesome.
Anything you want to say, and then we'll head out.
I want to say thank you for having me on your show. It was an absolute blast. An hour and a half floated by just like that.
Yes.
I am Iron Man. It's like, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're doing the Special Olympics fundraiser. I'm doing one that's completely separate from Kevin's cards, but they're both for Special Olympics. Mine's Ohio, his is New Jersey. Did a whole bunch of different things. Did a sales thread, doing an auction giveaway, just kind of tweeting it out here and there. I'm gonna do a live YouTube auction sale, kind of like Eloy and Jimmy Guns does.
You've done those before a couple times last year.
Yeah, I've done 3 of them now. So I'm gonna do that. The one time got like spammed, a bunch of hate in there. So hopefully that doesn't come up. And 100% of the proceeds of that I sell out of my cards going straight to the Special Olympics. So that's gonna be great because they're just cards, so it's not like it's money coming out of my pocket. It's coming right off my shelf. So it's cool. And so we're going to do that. My wife's going to help me out with that because she's just the best, the most organized human being I've ever met. Donations are
paid the big bucks, by the way.
That's big time back. Yeah, absolutely.
Big time backs.
And so the donations want to make due February 4th at midnight, into February 5th. The plunge is around 2:00 on the 5th. I imagine I'll go live on Twitter or something. My dad's definitely going to be there, depending on the weather, my wife and kids and stuff. But like the year it was 9 degrees. Like I'm not having my kids staying outside 9 degrees. So I'll have my dad at least be live on Twitter or something. We did that last year for the actual plunge part. Share it with my friends, and I'll obviously tweet it out so people are aware ahead of time. And then hopefully on the 6th, I'll be able to do the auction. If not, then shortly thereafter, just depending on what life's got going on that day.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday right now. I've got Thursday, Friday off work, so I might have to do like.
Is that the Super Bowl?
If it's the Super Bowl, I'm definitely not doing it that day. So.
I think that might be the Super
Bowl. We'll get it done. I mean, if you know me and you're watching this, I'm not stealing your money. I'm not stealing your prizes. I'd rather you have money than me. For the big rack, it's like, hey, give me the money, but I'm not keeping any of it. It's going right back to you. And I'm probably going to end up, finishing it off myself anyways with the extra that's needed. So I'm not trying to say that to say I'm better than anybody else or I have more money, because I don't. It's just how it built a
reputation, and we talked about this. You're the guy,
So like,
take charge.
What am I going to give my reputation away to scam a charity? Like, come on, man. Like, get it together. Well, I'm not the Backyard Breaks, I'm not.
Oh man,
I'm not the Island Boys, but yeah. So that's what we're doing. Every $10 that's donated to get you a spot in the raffle. So someone donate $100, that's 10 spots for them. You donate $10, it's 1 spot, but you know what? That 1 spot could still win. There's like 40 prizes at the moment. I'm sure there's going to be more. There's also there's $2,500 raised, but that's not 250 entries because a lot of them are anonymous. I mean, I know who they are because they said, hey, this was me, but don't, add me into this. Or like Midwest Box Breaks, he put his name in there, but he's like, hey, I don't want to win your stuff. Like, give it to somebody else. I'm not going to put Ben in there. Or anybody else. Anybody else who doesn't want to, like whatever. But
yeah, people don't do it to win the prizes. They do it because they want to help and they care. And
and the prize
is fun too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't shame people for like, hey, I'm going to donate $100, and if I win something, that's awesome, because that is awesome. That's why we're doing this. So don't feel bad if you do want to win a prize. donate and win a prize because we
Yeah.
want you to have prizes. So
Yeah. And
don't feel bad like either way. So
that's a way too for other people to get involved. Like you said, you're donating stuff because you don't have the money. You're donating the time because you don't have the money. So that gets you involved and gets other people involved in a way that they can help, because anybody can help with their time, donations, or even like, send $4 for like shipping or something, everything, everything helps. Doesn't have to be monetary. Look at the, say, 40 people who've donated prizes. Well, they didn't
yeah.
donate money, but those prizes are garnering the money. So there you go with
And
that part. So there's
and
so
if
many
you
people involved in this, and I just happen to be the guy putting it together, jumping in a frozen pond. And my buddy Trevor's on now too. He lives just down the street here in Westerville as well. So thanks for watching, man.
and
We're
I was
about
just
just
gonna
to end
say,
this here too. So
just retweet, you know, every time you
yeah,
see Chris talk about it, just retweet. That is huge. You don't liking stuff is great, but just a retweet goes so much further. And honestly, when we are doing fundraisers, if we see you retweet, that means a lot,
it
so
does. And I'll even to go on to your point, is I asked our little rat group last night, hey, can I get just a little retweet? 20 minutes later, I had $81 more in my account. Just
Mhm.
people I don't even know, don't even follow me, I've never interacted with, like, hey, this is really awesome that you're doing this. Like, Special Olympics are awesome. Not enough people do stuff for them. I'm really happy you're doing this. And you get these like random messages from people that like, hey, my daughter, my son, blah, 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 blah. Thanks so much. It means so much to us. Like, I don't have any idea who you are, but you just write me this really nice message and donated $100
Yeah.
because they saw a random retweet from Kelly
Yep.
at 9 o'clock at night. They're laying in bed like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give this dude some money because he's doing some good stuff. Like, cool. Like, that's just, that retweet. It does mean something when you see 3 people do it, or you say, oh, 20 people did it. Like, awesome, sweet. And then all of a sudden, hey, I got $100 more in there. Like, awesome. Like, I just went over 50% today, went over that $2,500. Like, I felt great about it. So like you said, it means so much, man.
Yep. And that's going to be the end of our show. Chris has got to go to bed. He's got that nightmare job to deal with. Um, if you just want to pay people to be, awesome, adorable celebrity figures, I'll take 6 figures. Chris, I'm sure you'll take 6 figures. Just hire us to run your
Yeah.
show and be on your show.
Yeah.
We'll take that job in a heartbeat.
You got to talk to my agent, Big Time Bex. She's in the other room sleeping right now, but she'll get back to you.
Yeah, and I'm sure the answer will be yes. Just make my husband happy.
Yeah,
And
just
six
get him out of
figures.
my hair and get him out of my hair and let me buy some boots because it's winter. My feet are cold. So.
Oh, need them boots. All right, buddy. I love you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you so
I
much,
love you
Chris.
too, Tom.
And of course, anytime you have anything you want to come on, when the Broncos get a new coach, we should get you and Brian and me and some other people. We can all have a
Jamie.
little, Jamie, get a round table going of like why we're miserable.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Get one of those 8 screeners going on.
Yeah. Yeah, just a
We're
real
gonna do around the hobby Broncos draft edition.
Broncos coaching news.
Oh, you know what? Trevor is a Broncos fan too, who's watching. So I got my my lock slab hanging around my neck for my baller gear tonight.
Yeah,
So.
baller swag. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody be good. I'm going to play my music and I'm going to dip. My wife needs help, so I'm just going to blast out of here.
I'm out. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, let me find my brand tab and there we go. Once again, Chris, thanks. I love you. Everybody have a good night.